Hey friends, it's me, Erin, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist, and I'm back! But this time I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between intuition, ego, and the inner stories that we tell ourselves and how they all kind of work together and why they matter. I felt like I yelled that, sorry. I did write it all down, so I am going to be reading off the paper just to make sure I keep it all straight, you know? The reason I'm talking about this is because it's a very common question I get. Like, everybody asks me this, and I want everyone to understand. You have the power to understand this. I'm going to make it as simple as I possibly can. Not because you need it to be simple, but because I want you to understand that you have access to this always. So first, we're going to talk about what is intuition. Intuition is your inner guidance. It is a system that is quiet, consistent, and deeply wise. It's the subtle whisper that says this feels right even when there's no logical explanation for something. Intuition is rooted in the present moment and often comes as a sense of peace, knowing, or curiosity. It does not demand, ever. It always only invites. So then what is ego, right? What's ego? The ego is the mind's protector. It's built from your experiences, fears, and conditioning, and identity. While it's not inherently bad, it doesn't mean to be bad. It often speaks loudly and quickly, trying to avoid pain, judgment, or failure. Ego is reactive, analytical, and usually focused on survival. It's the voice that says, "What if this doesn't work? You need to prove yourself." I kind of like to think of ego as that big mama bear that we're all really tired of. It's there to keep you safe. So anytime you try to step outside of the known, it's going to show its head and say, no, we need to stay safe. We're going to stay here. So that's where ego really comes from. So how do you tell the difference? Great question. So glad you asked. Intuition is calm, ego is chaotic. Intuition speaks once and leaves peace. Ego repeats in loops. That's a big one. Intuition feels expansive. Ego feels restrictive. Intuition guides from truth. Ego reacts from fear. Intuition nudges and ego demands. But there's a reason we have both. The ego developed to protect you. It kept you safe in times of threat or uncertainty. But when you're ready to expand beyond survival, the intuition becomes your guide to thriving. Learning to differentiate helps you honor the ego's past role while stepping into intuitive leadership. When your ego is running the show, we live in survival mode. We attract from fear, not freedom. We say we want abundance of love, but if our inner story is, "I don't deserve this," we subconsciously block it. Intuition offers the reframe. It gently asks, what if the old story isn't true anymore? I forgot to say the inner story. Here we go. So we all have an inner story, a story we tell ourselves about ourselves that sort of shapes things. This has a purpose, right? This has a purpose. Our beliefs shape the stories we tell ourselves, and these stories shape how we interpret the world. Often these stories were born from ego protections. I'm not good enough. I must earn love. It's not safe to be seen. When we believe these stories, we filter experience through them, reinforcing the limits they create, feeding law of attraction, what we literally don't want, because that's where our attention is all the time. So let's just bring it all full circle, shall we? The ego writes your story based on the past. Intuition writes it based on your potential. Limiting beliefs fuel hustle, feel, and misalignment. Rewriting them clears the static in your frequency. Frequency and alignment determine what you magnetize into your life, and inspired action flows from intuition, bringing that aligned reality to life. That's the breakdown. So what can you do, right? How can you help yourself? Great, let's talk about it. Here's a list of 5 things you can do. Number 1, notice. What's the story I'm telling myself about this situation? Number 2, feel. Is this ego or is this intuition speaking? Number 3, reframe the story. What would my future self believe here? That's a big one. Number 4, align. What action feels inspired, not forced? And number 5, integrate. Speak the new belief, move your body, and act in trust. Trust yourself. So in the end, you are not the noise. You are not the story. You are not your fear. You are the awareness behind it all, the author, the channel, and the frequency. When you choose to rewrite, realign, and respond from truth, you become magnetic to the life you were always meant to lead. I hope this helped, even though I kind of messed up in the middle, because I want you to understand everything is in your hands. You absolutely have the power to change your life. It's just about the stories you're telling yourself, the things you're focusing on, and where you're allowing yourself to stretch the boundaries of your comfort zone. That's where you're going to find all the potential that's just sort of waiting for you out there. I'm just saying, trust yourself just for a hot second. Just try it. See what happens. Try it.